Sal Maiorana of the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. He's at Bills camp every dang day. And Sal, the quarterback position was somewhat of a disaster midway through the summer. How much more confidence should we have on the individual who will be throwing the football for the Bills come, early September?
Well, at this point, the confidence needed really shouldn't be very high at all. None of them have stood out to me in the first 4 days of camp. Matt Castle is the veteran guy. He's been getting a few more of the first-team reps. I think Rex is just more comfortable with a veteran guy. He always has, but he favors veterans. And I think, he wants to give Castle every opportunity possible to go ahead and win the job. Now, that being said, E.J. Manuel is also in a situation where he's the Bills' first-round draft pick from 2 years ago. There may be factions inside that building that are hoping that E.J. Is the guy so they can justify picking him in the first round. So he's been getting, probably close to the amount of reps Castle has. And then they've been working in Taylor, who's kind of a wild card in this whole thing. Nobody really knows anything about Tyrod Taylor. He's the unproven commodity. I think as we go on here, Rex has made it very clear he wants all three to get equal reps. So that might flip in the next few days, and it might get turned around. But right now, nobody has stood out. They've all struggled, and really the biggest reason is none of them are very good, but this defense is also very good. And this defense is causing a lot of problems early on here.
Now, when you talk about the three quarterbacks, Tyrod Taylor, how realistic is it that he gets that shot at that job, and how much of that is the fact that it seems like Rex Ryan just likes his skill set, his ability to run with the football?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's been talking him up ever since they signed him. And once again, I just don't see it. I mean, I can't, when I look at practice and I see him out there taking the reps, he's just a small guy. And it's so hard to envision a guy who's 6'1" with really no experience. He was the backup for 4 years for Joe Flacco and threw 35 NFL passes in mop-up duty. So he really has no NFL experience. At least when Doug Flutie was running around at 5'11", you knew that Flutie could make some plays. He might have been limited in some of the things he did, but you knew at some point Flutie would help you win a game. I just can't see Tyrod Taylor being that guy. I might be blown away, totally surprised, and he comes up and wins the job. But if I had to say right now, do I think he'll be the starter opening day? I'd have to say no.
Sal Maiorana of the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle, he has on the daily basis where the quarterbacks are at and the percentage of who is going to start once the season gets here. And right now, Matt Castle is leading that percentage. And Sal, you mentioned that E.J. Manuel has some guys in the front office that feel invested in him since they drafted him. But that feeling has to be weaker, doesn't it? This coaching staff probably doesn't at all feel that they have to fully develop E.J. Manuel, because they're not the ones that drafted him. Would you agree?
Yeah, you're right. Because when EJ was drafted, Doug Whaley was the GM. Doug Marrone was in his first year as the coach. They went in on that together. So yeah, he was clearly the consensus pick for that regime. Now Doug Whaley obviously is still the general manager here, but you're right. Rex Ryan has full control over this roster now. There's no doubt about that. And if he goes to Whaley and says, "Look, this guy can't play. I don't want him," Whaley will not blink. And they will swallow their pride, and they'll either release him or whatever they do. He becomes a third string or second. I don't know what they'll do with him. But yeah, absolutely. This is Rex Ryan's call, and Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator. They will make the final decision. It won't be Doug Whaley saying, "Hey, we picked him in the first round. You got to keep him." That won't happen.
ESPN's Adam Schefter mentioned it to us yesterday. You agree that it's a realistic possibility that if E.J. Manuel is not productive in camp, he will not make the 53-man roster?
Yeah, it's possible. One of the rumors that was going around here, because in the off-season program, and again, it's so hard to judge anything, and I try to stay away from that. But many of my colleagues here, kept pointing out how bad Castle looked in the off-season program, and some of the speculation was that if he continues to stink in training camp, they'll cut him, and they can save like $4.2 million on the salary cap, and then go with Manuel Taylor and Matt Sims is here. He could be a third-string guy. Now, you come to training camp, and if Castle ends up doing pretty well, and if he wins this job outright, yeah, there's a very good possibility they might keep Tyrod Taylor as the backup. They do seem to like him. Keep Matt Sims as your clipboard carrier and cut ties with EJ. That very well could happen.
So, Sal, there's a realistic possibility that Matt Sims makes this roster over either Matt Castle or E.J. Manuel.
Yeah, I mean, unless they want to go out like they did last year and go find, some retread veteran who happens to get cut. Kyle Orton happened to be sitting around last year in semi-retirement, and when when they had trouble with the backup position, they went and got him, and then he ends up, starting the last 12 games. They could do something like that, but Matt Sims right now is kind of like, and the thing is, I've never seen a fourth-string quarterback get more reps than Matt Sims has. They really are. They do these two-spot drills where they've got groups going at the same time, the Greg Roman thing, and I guess Rex has not done this before, and they are getting a lot more reps in training camp, and it's allowing, Matt Sims to get some time. So, hey, he served as Rex's third-string quarterback last year. He actually played a little bit, I think, at the end of the year. So I think Rex knows him, likes him. I don't think he thinks he can be a starter, but yeah, sure. I mean, if they're going to cut Castle or Manuel, Matt Sims is here learning the offense. Why not keep him around to be the third stringer?
Sal Maiorana of the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle with Armen and Levack 104.5 The Team, at Sal Maiorana on Twitter. He's at Bills Camp Daily. Sal, what are the odds that the Bills are going to be able to have a quarterback that's good enough to maintain the offense to get them into the postseason?
I think Castle or Manuel have a chance to be game managers in this offense. This offense is predicated on the running game. We've been saying it right ever since they acquired LaShawn McCoy. They're going to try to run the ball. So they need a quarterback, and every quarterback hates the term game manager, but that's really what they need, is a guy who can just not screw it up. I'm sure I've told you that before. They're going to get the ball to McCoy. They're going to get the ball to Fred Jackson when he comes in. They're going to throw short passes to Charles Clay and McCoy out of the backfield. And when they do go downfield, then, Sammy Watkins, Percy Harvin, Robert Woods get involved. But they're not going to take, I don't think, a lot of chances in the passing game. So just have a quarterback who can function, not turn the ball over, and make a play or two when he needs to make a play or two. And I think if they get that kind of quarterback play with this defense and pretty good special teams, I think the Bills can definitely be in contention for a playoff spot.
So when you talk about game managers, when you talk about screen passes and running game, your offensive line coach becomes pretty important. What does the Aaron Kromer saga mean to the Bills moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, Kromer was back last night. He came back to the team, and he'll serve a 6-game suspension when the regular season gets underway. So, actually for the Bills, it's good that he's here in training camp, because this is the most vital time for the teaching and the installation and all that. So he came back to work last night. Yeah, he's a good offensive line coach. He's got a good resume as a coach in the NFL. His situation was not a good look for him or the organization, but I think they did the right thing with the 6 games. And luckily, they've got a guy in Kurt Anderson who has been with the Bills. This is his 5th year as the assistant offensive line coach. He's worked for the Chan Gailey's staff, Doug Marone's, and Rex Ryan kept him around, so he must like him. He was there the whole offseason with Kromer, learning the techniques along with the players and how Kromer teaches things. So I think they're going to be just fine. The issue with the offensive line is they got to go play now. They got to go put the pads on and prove that whatever Kromer taught them in the offseason, they can go out and apply, because this offensive line was not good at all the last 2 years when Doug Marone was the coach.
Richie Incognito going to start at left guard. Is that a testament to how good he is or how bad this Bills line is?
Well, I think I wouldn't say that it's because the Bills line is so bad. I mean, clearly there was an opportunity for Incognito at left guard or right guard, wherever they put him. And I think he clearly is the best guard on the team. There's no question about that. So you knew he'd be a starter going in. So yeah, I wouldn't put it either way in those terms. He just is I said this when they signed him back in February. I loved the signing. Regardless of his personal issues that he's had through the years, the guy is a good football player. If he keeps his head on straight, he can help the Bills because he's the best guard on the team right now.
Sammy Watkins, how is he looking right now through camp coming off this hip injury in the offseason?
Yeah, he looks great. I mean, in fact, last night they had a night practice, and he was dynamic. He scored 2 long touchdowns. He blew by Stephon Gilmore, who's the best cornerback of the team, just made a gorgeous move and just left him in the dust, and then he did it about 5 minutes later to some scrub. But he's looked good. When the quarterbacks can get the ball to Sammy, the guy makes every play there is. I mean, that's the issue. Can they get the ball to him? Because he will be open. I mean, he was open plenty last year. You go back and look at the tape and the all-22, you'll see plenty of instances where Sammy was open and the quarterback just either didn't get the ball to him or went to a different read, and it was probably pretty frustrating for him. So that's going to be the key. They got to find a guy to get the ball to Sammy.
Sal, I'm looking at some of the reports from camp. Percy Harvin is getting reps at cornerback?
Yeah, he did that. He kind of volunteered to do it the first day. I don't think he's done it since. Leotis McKelvin is out right now. So they were a little bit short at cornerback, and I think Percy just figured, hey, let me give it a try. If I could help in some way, at least test it out now in training camp. And Rex was all for it. He said, hey, great, go give it a shot. So he took a few reps the first day. I don't think I've seen him doing that since. We don't know what McKelvin's status is. Right now he's in street clothes. And they just signed a kid off the street the other day for camp reps. So they should be okay now at cornerback.
And, of course, you have a story today as well at the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle on Bills rookie corner Ronald Darby. That's available right now. You can check out Sal's Twitter account, at Sal Maiorana, to read that. And, Sal, I'm most intrigued. Your voice lit up and you sounded illuminated earlier when you dropped a quick hint of how good this defense is looking. Why is this defense looking so good at this point in camp?
Well, first of all, they've just got a tremendous amount of talent at all three levels. I mean, they're just a really good, solid defense. They were last year. The only guys they lost in the offseason were Denoris Searcy, who played strong safety, and you can count Brandon Spikes in that because Spikes, was generally effective on first and second down against the run. But they're gonna fill those positions very easily with the guys they have on the roster. And now you add Rex Ryan to the mix. You give Rex this kind of talent. Say what you want about Rex, but this guy knows defense. He knows how to coach defense. His staff is a very good defensive staff. I think the Bills, the sky's the limit for the defense. If they stay healthy, I think they can be a dominant defense really at all three levels.
Sal Maiorana of the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle is at practice every day. He's updating the quarterback situation every day and everything that you need to know as a Bills and NFL fan. Our buddy Sal, we're going to be out at Bills camp within the next couple weeks. We'll let you know when we're there. We'll have to hang out, maybe get a garbage plate together, see what happens, get crazy, and we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks, my friend.
All right, man. Let me know when you're here, and we'll do it.